Hello and welcome to Stardrop Tea, a Stardew Valley gossip podcast. I'm Shirley, and today I am joined by a special guest, Mia Arias Tsang. Mia, do you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. Big fan of the pod.
Thank you. Mia is a writer, a zine maker, a hopeless lesbian based in New York City. Her work explores how queer people try and fail to love each other. Her first collection, which I have in my possession, very excited about that, is Fragments of Wasted Devotion. It is out now with Quilted Press, and she founded and currently runs the microzine press Pocket Publications out of her bedroom, which focuses on short form, genre blending, writing, and visual art. She lives in Queens with her cat Peanut and is working on a novel. Thank you so much
It's
for being
true.
here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
It's
having
all
me.
factual. Yes. For, I guess, the audience, the listeners, I would love to just start off with how did you get here to be on Stardrop Tea? If you wanted to share a little bit about
Absolutely.
that journey.
Yeah, so August was a bit of a month for me. I was having a particularly difficult week, and I was playing Stardew, as I do when my weeks are bad. And it really is cyclical. Like, when I'm playing it, directly correlates with how poor my mental health is, and it really helps me
Yeah.
reset. So I was doing that, and the thought just came into my head. I was like, I wonder if there's any podcasts about the game. I feel like it's ripe for discussion because there's so much drama
Yes.
among all the townspeople. And so I just searched Stardew Valley podcast, and literally this was the only thing that came up. There's like
Yeah.
mentions of the game in other episodes of other video game themed podcasts, but this was the only solely dedicated. It was exactly what I was looking for. Oh my
That's
goodness, it
amazing.
was exactly what I needed. So I listened to the whole thing. Everything you had out at that time, I listened to that one week, and it really got me through. And I don't remember what episode it was, but I just was thinking off the cuff. And every time that Hillary would say, stardroptpodcast@gmail.com, I was like, I must email them. I've got to email them.
That
It's
email's
in my
being
head.
thrown out a lot. Yeah.
So it was very late at night, and I just sent a little cold email. I was like, oh, you guys are cool, and you seemed like you are looking for guests, and I would love to be a guest. And also, what do you think about Abigail's heritage? And I had not yet I had not seen the wizard lore drop. So then I was humiliated. So an hour later, I saw it. I was like, oh my God, I can't
It's
believe
fine.
this. So then I went and listened. I sent a little email apology, and then you emailed me the next day. It was crazy. I was like, wow, they really
Yeah.
are checking that email.
Yeah,
So
we're real people. I do want to say that I'm sure by the time people listen to this, they're gonna be like, "Well, you took a week to respond to me. I apologize." This this oh my god, this eclipse season has been kicking my ass, and so
mhm.
I'm just glad to be here, and I'm glad that we made it at work as well.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, thank you for the email. I mean, anytime to email us is fine. It's not like I'm responding immediately, but it was just also really sweet how you also sent like some photos of what was going on in your farm. So I genuinely appreciate it because we've talked about this a little bit. I was honestly shocked when I also searched for like there's got to be someone talking about this game. Like there's so much shit in
Mhm.
this game. There should be at least something, and like no.
Yeah. No.
And then I always felt like the things I did see as far as podcasts were really surface level of like Haley's mean. Okay. Yes. And
Like,
and
what about
what? Like what
why?
else? Yeah. What about why? Exactly. So there's so much to talk about. And I want to get into, first of all, just tell me a little bit about your farm. When we chatted previously, you had mentioned that you have multiple saves. You have
He
a
saves,
standard
yes.
farm, a river farm, and you also recently started playing on mobile. Walk me through that experience for you.
Yeah, so I have been mostly a PC player up until about a month ago, I want to say. I think that's when I got the mobile app, and I've been playing for years. How long have I been playing? I think I started playing in 2022, 2023, but I had known about it for a long time. I got into Stardew because my older sister loves it, and she's not much of a gamer, but she really, really loves Stardew. And so I was like, I would like to find something we could bond over. And then also, a lot of my friends in college were big gamers and had all already gone through their Stardew phases, and they were like, you would love it. So it was always something I knew I would enjoy, but I was in undergrad. I thought to myself, I'm not going to let myself buy this game because I will not graduate. I will not graduate. I
Fair.
will play too much. And then I got it for my laptop, and I was a laptop player, PC player. My desk setup, it has like a second monitor, and then I connected to my laptop. I have a wireless keyboard for my weak little wrist that's like ergonomic.
Yeah.
So when I'm like really, really need to grind on the farm, I put the whole thing up. So I got the farm on
Yeah.
one side, I have Spotify on the other side, either listening to this podcast or other podcasts, and I got the farm on the
Mhm.
left, and then I got all my controls, my keyboard, all that. But I started with just one save that I played for, I think I have, let me see, my Steam says. I have 370 something hours on the standard farm, and that was the
Nice.
one I had kind of grinded on for a long time. And I think I want to say I joined either right before 1.6 dropped is when I
Mhm.
started playing, if my timelines are right. And so like I was briefly familiar with some things being like old, but really I was mostly playing 1.6. I didn't know that you could choose. I think this is why I'm like dating it. I don't think that I was able to choose different farm types when I started. I think I didn't know you could. I just defaulted to the first one.
Mhm.
So I had the standard farm for a while. I have learned so much about gameplay from this podcast. There's so
Oh,
many
that's
things I
awesome.
just did not know you could do. I
There's a
was
shit
really
ton. Yeah.
humiliated. I was like, oh my god. It's been helpful. I feel like because I was really more using it as a meditative escape
Mhm.
from reality, I did not use the wiki that much at the beginning. I kind of
Mhm.
was like, let me just feel this out naturally. And I found something very calming about just the repetitive, you water one thing at a time. Like when Hillary was saying you can water more than one thing at a time, I was like, I really relate to that. It took me a long time to realize you
Yeah.
could like upgrade your tools.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no one's really telling you much,
No.
like Clint might mention, "Oh, like I could use some money." I'm like, "Okay, me too." Like, what's your point? But not that I
Yeah.
would actually benefit from giving him money. That wasn't clear. So, that makes a
Right.
lot of sense. Yeah.
I played that farm for so long and I did not know how to do anything at all. I also didn't make any friends. I was like,
Mm,
grind time, gotta get my money right, before I start dating around, you gotta make sure the finances are secure because no one wants to date a
exactly.
bum. Like, you gotta really go for it. And so my first save was really just like, I didn't start dating until year 10.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then, so by the time that I started my river farm, which was this year, was January of this year, I was crashing at a friend's place who's also a writer, and we were doing like our own little mini writing retreat together. And on breaks, we would play Stardew because we're both really into it, and they're a Switch player, and so they were showing me their farm. And I was like, are you on a river? And they were like, dude, what
Where
are you
are you?
talking about? Like, there's so many different kinds of farms. And I
Yeah.
really had one of those moments. I was like, oh my God, there's so much I don't know. So then I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to start another save. And this was my river farm that is currently in winter, so it's not that interesting to look at. But well, now I'm cruising on that because I know how to do everything. So I hit the ground
Mhm.
running and I was like, okay, like within year one, I had the whole thing set up and felt really accomplished. So that was nice. And then the other farm, the mobile farm, it's a forest farm, which I really like.
Okay, very nice.
So it's like I wanted to, so I was like, if I'm going to start another save, I will choose a different farm type just to see what it's
Mhm.
like. And I love the forest farm, and I might do one on my computer. I might do a PC forest farm because I did not know that it just spawns things on your farm more often. Like you
Mhm.
can forage more, they have the built-in mahogany stumps are there, so you always have that steady supply. And that of
Yeah.
hardwood, that was big for me. And like mobile controls are kind of weird, but ultimately didn't take too long for me to get used to it. I was really like looking for a game that something I could play on the subway and like just play when I'm in transit, because I feel like at the very least it's giving me that kind of calm, whereas a lot of my
Mhm.
other phone games that I was trying are like too overstimulating and just, I don't know, I don't feel as productive. But grinding on that farm in the subway makes me feel a lot better about being on my phone.
Yeah, I love the perspective of playing it from a really meditative state because you can absolutely get lost in the game. I love just seeing how people talk about, "Oh, I'm just gonna play like one more day, just one more day." It's like, and which I do all the time. I'm like, okay, 5 hours later, I have played an
Yep.
entire season,
Hmm.
and what I came out of that season feeling though was usually really calm. Like I did have a whole to-do list, like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to talk to this person, I need to get these items, but I felt like I, to your point, like could escape a little bit from what was happening. And it's set in a reality where things are changing, but not changing so drastically that I feel concerned, which is
Yeah.
nice. Like, no
Yeah.
one ever ages, no one dies, which is just so
No
nice.
one dies.
No one dies. Nothing changes. But no, that's really awesome. And I wanted to just know, like, do you think you're gonna start a new save now that you've learned more things? Or, well, you mentioned that you're gonna maybe do like the forest farm on the PC, or do
Yeah.
you want to also try the other farm types down the line?
I think I do want to eventually try every farm type and just see what they have to offer. I can't say that I would necessarily pour all of the same level of effort into all of them, but I might try. I do want to try like trying on different farm personalities and farmer personalities because I feel like I haven't really let myself get that narrative with it, which is interesting because I'm a writer and I usually project narratives onto literally everything I do, and that
Hmm.
includes video games. So it has been interesting that when I hop into this one, I'm like, I fall into my own capitalist cop brain. I'm like, I gotta go, I gotta check my kegs, the ancient fruit wine. I
I need that
gotta
money. I
I
need
need
that
the money,
money
I need to
right
grind.
now. Yeah.
And it's like, why? There's not even any urgency, especially in my main farm. I have the return scepter. Like, I have the obelisks I need. I don't,
Yeah.
there's not much more to do, and yet I'm grinding on that. I fall into it so easily.
I get it. It's a really funny thing to look at about how our internal life reflects in the game. Because to your point, like no one's asking you for your money. Like in theory,
No,
you could sell nothing and no one's going to kick you out of your farm. And I've also seen
exactly.
some people who sell everything at the end of the year. Like they save everything and they sell it all at once. So there's so many ways to go about it that like you technically could wait a long time to make any money and everyone
Yeah,
would be like, yeah, that's fine, that's not a
yeah,
problem
that's fine.
for me. Whenever you have that cauliflower though, please bring it over. It'd be what
Yeah.
Jody says to you. I love that. And do you ever like pop into your other farms to see like what's happening at different timelines and kind of check them out? Nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like they're all different facets of me in a way. Well, actually, the forest farm, this is so embarrassing, but I am admitting it because I think the pod will appreciate this. That one, the mobile farm, I was explicitly trying to make my farmer into a character, not me specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So my other saves are me. The name is Mia, and they're both variations of me. So like the river farm is the me with the blue hair. The other one is me with not that because it was I made when I didn't have blue hair. And
Mm-hmm.
the forest farm, I'm playing as Lucy Dacus.
Okay.
And I am
Yeah.
romancing Leah because I think she's the most Julian Baker physiology similarities out of all of
Yeah.
them. And I think in
Mm-hmm.
personality is the most like adjacent because
Mm-hmm.
I needed something fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder
um,
I wonder if there's a mod where you can like put a bunch of tattoos on Leah to like also complete the look because that would be really nice. So, yeah.
1.7, we must be able to put tattoos on our characters, and we'll get there because I know you're going to ask me about what I want for 1.7. But I would like to be able to tattoo my characters.
Yeah, I would also like to tattoo my own character
That's what
myself.
I mean, like myself. I
Yeah.
would love for my guy to be my gal to be tattooed.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of like juggling timelines and you can jump in and out, you had previously talked about that you want to essentially be the most divorced lesbian in Stardew. Let's unpack that.
Let's get into it. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So, for those of you listening who are unfamiliar with me and my book, it is a collection of letters to former lovers, exes of mine, kind of this chronology of my past 7 years of heartbreak in gay world. And I thought it would be funny and on brand if I had a save where I did that and I went through and I married and divorced every woman in
Mhm.
the NPCs that you can romance. Yeah, I just wanted to be a bit of a terror. I wanted to kind of get out some of that, like play to my basest impulses that I don't often go all the way in real
Yeah.
life, and be a little bit of a heartbreaker. And like, because in Stardew, you have the agency. You are the one who will initiate the divorce. Like, they're not going to
Mhm.
divorce you. They love you too much. So it's a
Yeah.
chance to kind of flip that script a little bit and be in control. And kind of, I think that writing my book was a really interesting. You don't often get to look at 7 years of your life at once, just like staring at it all in front of you. And that was what the editing
Mhm.
process was like. So I was going through a lot of reflection on how I move in relationships. And the book is very yearny, piney, like, oh my God, I keep getting broken up with. So it was almost like an empowering sort of, well, now I'm gonna break up with all these virtual
Yeah.
women in a row.
My turn. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
my turn.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten very far with it. The river farm is supposed to be my divorce farm. That's going to be big divorce land. For all of my future ex-wives, they can stand by the water. They can have their Kendall Roy moment as they look across the sea, look across the rivers, and wonder how they got here and to be divorced by this blue-haired lesbian with a bob in this farm. So I'm imagining an emotional landscape. You can see it
Yeah,
now, right? You
and
can see it now.
exactly. I love imagining the emotional landscape because not all of them are gonna take it the same way. I think that some will probably be much more heartbroken than others. Like, if for
Yeah.
me, I'm thinking probably like Emily and Leah would have the emotional depth to like feel that heartbreak. Realistically, my perception of Haley is that she will probably be sad and also move on.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
whatever, fine. Oh, and Penny. I've never actually romanced Penny besides like, yes, we're dating now so that I can like say that we're dating. We haven't talked about her, but what's your perception of like how that romance might play out for you?
So I am interested in Penny. I feel like she's unfairly maligned, and this is
Mhm.
not going to be a Penny episode, but I gotta go to bat for my girl. I think she's been through too much, and I think that
Yeah.
the often thing that my friends will complain about with Penny, like, oh my god, she's so trad, she's this, she's that, and it's my feeling is if I had such an emotionally and like physically unstable childhood, I
Mhm.
too would be striving for stability and tradition. And
Yeah.
just because that's not necessarily what my blue haired farmer might want, she might want to try it out for a while. We all try
Yeah.
out a stable relationship for a time. So I will admit I'm not as far on this as I would like to be because I keep getting distracted by the grind as usual. So I've had two marriages and only one has been to a woman. My first marriage was to Shane because I wanted my character to have blue chickens. So I did
Oh,
that.
obviously, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially because that character has blue hair and all that. I
Yeah.
was like, let me make a theme happen. And in the narrative, I'm sort of imagining, young farmer moves to town. She thinks she's straight, right? She's like, whatever, despite the blue hair of it all. She has this toxic first marriage, very young, to this
Mhm.
alcoholic man, and then realizes it's not for her after she gets those blue chickens. And now is about to begin her like lifetime of lesbianism
Yeah.
after having kind of blown up her whole life and marriage to a guy. So right now she's married to Abigail, and they're on that jewel toned, like synced up kind of. I'm also trying to vaguely date sort of in the order I think they might be age wise. Like I'm trying to like
Mhm.
date younger while my character is younger and then like slowly work my way up. Although I think they're all around the same. They're all in their 20s, but like in my head there's variation. In my head
Yeah.
there's variation for like the ones you can romance, yeah.
That has not been verified, and I would really appreciate if it could be. But yeah, I definitely think because I think Abigail and Maru are around like the younger ones,
Yeah.
and then Haley is potentially next. Penny and Emily and Leah, I think, are around the same age. In my head, they're like 27, 28, kind
Same,
of,
yeah.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
Abigail and Maru are 22, kind of thing.
That's how I'm
Definitely, all
feeling as
everyone's
well.
over 20 because I
Yeah.
I I refuse to do that.
I
Someone who's in their
refuse.
30s, I'm like, please, they're too young. But I love that, and you bring up a great point because for Penny, I feel that way about her. Like she's absolutely had a hard life with her mom. Pam has a story, and I want to know what that story is, and there will be obviously a whole episode about that. And okay, so you're married to Abigail. Do you think that you're gonna erase their memories, or are you gonna have everyone just be
No.
mad at you?
I think I will collect enemies until I've made all of them, and then I might go back. I might go to my girl the witch and ask for some assistance with that.
Yeah,
But that's down the line. That is down the line.
and you need money for that.
And I
So
need money for that. I've only ever divorced one person in Stardew, and it was Shane in this save. And that was no big loss for me. I was like, you can just
you're like,
stand in the corner and not talk to me. That's all right. Yeah, that's interesting. In my first ever save, I am married with one kid and another on the way to Emily.
wow, big time.
And I know that was like big, big commitment time. I think that one is probably my save that's closest to perfection. And part of why I have taken a little bit of a break from that as well is that I feel like that save sort of mirrored. I was in like a very long-term relationship when that save was starting, and I think I poured a lot of similar feelings and emotions into that
Hmm.
save, and like married someone in the game and was telling my partner, oh my god, that's us, and like that's our kid and stuff. And so
Hmm.
when we broke up, I was like, I kind of can't look at it right now. I
Yeah.
sort of can't look at it, and went like all the way to the other end of the spectrum with the Divorce River.
Yeah,
I should call it Divorce
divorce.
Farm. I should rename it to Divorce Farm.
Divorce farm, river farm. Yeah, I think that's exceptional. Yeah, doing something that reflects a lot of your life would be hard to go back to. So I get it.
Yeah.
And also a great opportunity to erase your memory. So you're like, look, I forgot about you, you forgot about me, we can move on. And
Yeah. I have
everyone's
to
good.
I have
Yeah.
to let my family. Do you know what happens in the game if you have kids and then divorce someone? What happens to the kids?
As someone who had kids in the game and immediately dubbed them, I am not the right person to, to ask about that. I'm sorry. But listeners, if you have had kids in the game and then you divorce, what happens to your children? Do you get to keep them or do they also disappear? Because that's interesting because I wonder if you get to keep them and then you marry someone else, how do they feel about that? You know, are they
Right.
going to be into it? Are they going to have
Yeah.
commentary about that? I have no idea.
StarDropTpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. You know that email very well. So thank you. I love that. And I know you had also mentioned that you had some strong feelings about other marriages in the game, specifically Robin's marriage. And you were saying you would like to break them up and if you could potentially also divorce them. I know that there are mods that like do that. And I
Oh my
play
god.
vanilla, which is if people are new to gaming, which before this game I was. Vanilla just means that you're not using a mod and you're not like changing how it was initially created. So, yeah, what's going on with Robin that you would like to get in between that?
It's like almost a perfect segue. Yeah, I don't love the way that Demetrius speaks to Robin, especially in terms of her creativity and her passions and honestly her career. She has made an incredible career out of being a craftsman, which
Mhm.
is so hard in this day and age. And I think I'm particularly coming back to the cutscene with the bed is sort of where it's the
Oh, yeah.
most
That's a huge one.
explicit, but there's a lot of little moments if you're like staying tuned to them, if you talk to them at every festival, things that are so obviously slightly out of sync. And it's interesting because when you mention the concept of if you divorce and you get remarried in the game, like, and you have kids, is there going to be like, problems there? And
Mhm.
I think that clearly there is something going on in that
Yeah.
family with the similar kind of dynamics. And because we know if you go into, I also love bedroom snooping in Stardew. I love going around and looking at all the
Yeah.
items and reading everyone's books. I mean, it's about the most fun and something I didn't realize till year 6 of my first save. You could do
Yeah, you're like, "Wait, what's this? This has been here the
yeah,
whole time?" The whole
the
time. Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah.
So, what I've gathered, and I feel like you are the expert, so correct me if any of this is off, but I believe that Sebastian is Robin's kid from a previous marriage. We don't really know what happened to his father. She
Unknown.
remarries Demetrius, has Maru, and they're all in this big blended biracial family together. And it seems like there is strife there, mainly because one of the books on Demetrius's shelf is like how to be a step parent or something like that,
Mhm.
something alluding to that, connecting with your stepchild or whatnot. And also in the bed cutscene, when Robin and Demetrius are fighting over the bed, Maru's sort of staying out of it, but I notice that Sebastian agrees with his mom wholeheartedly and tells her he likes it and is very much like on her side with it. And so I really want to know, I want to know what the deal is with Sebastian's dad. I want to know why that didn't work out. I want to know, did they move here or like post divorce from Zuzu City perhaps, or did the dad leave and go to the city? Like, what's the dynamic here? And so that's very compelling to me. So when you're a creative person, as I am, and like are kind of striking out to pursue whatever it is you want to pursue, your art, whatever, it's an incredibly vulnerable thing and very hard
Mhm.
and very frowned upon by the world at large and
Oh, yeah.
takes a lot of strength. And I mean, I quit my job yesterday to like
Oh, wow.
go, thanks.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I quit my job yesterday. I'm going to go back to school to be a librarian, which is really fun.
Oh, amazing. We need libraries. So, yeah, that's
We
huge.
need libraries. I'm going to
Mhm.
be a blue-haired gay librarian, and I'm really excited about it.
Amazing.
But in the interim period, because I'm planning on going next fall, the interim period, I'm just kind of doing a lot of freelance writing stuff, grinding out my creative career, and it's taking a lot of guts. And I have definitely been in many relationships where if you're not dating another creative, it is tough to get people to understand that
Mhm.
and that your priorities might be different and that your priorities might not be what is the most, in Demetrius's words, efficient
Mhm.
because that it was his big critique of her bed of being like, it's a very inefficient use of materials. And she was like, but it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
isn't that the thing, right? Like, it's beautiful.
100%. Yeah, and there's so much that's lost when we try to make art and other things efficient. Like,
Hmm.
sure, I can ma can I actually before I state that, I don't know if I can make a bed, but I could learn. If there's a YouTube video, I can learn. But sure, maybe I'll have a functional bed, like a pallet bed when that was really in for a time being. Great, functional. But there's so much more that is needed in the world, especially like the loss of beauty. And I in this day and age, there I'm forgetting like the title of the article, but there's a bunch of information out there of like we've lost a lot of color in the world that we live in today. Just like everything
Yeah.
is gray, very flat. There barely anything has like a lot of personality. And so here she is collecting a bunch of hardwood, which first of all was a lot of work for me as a farmer to go get for her.
Hmm.
She puts this request out. I do that. I want to like celebrate her. We get into her house. So if again, if no one has actually gone through this cutscene, we walk into a marital argument, which again, I didn't sign up for. I thought this was just a regular farm game, but here I am, like they're obviously having an issue, and we're told to like pick sides of either we pick the side of you should just have a bed that is basic or a bed that has decorations that has just like beauty in it. And in every period piece movie that I ever see, when I look at the beds that people are in, obviously they're all like the rich people, but I've just been like, holy shit, like that's incredible. I would be like, yes, welcome to my room. Can I also show you my bed? No, this is not yeah, an invitation. This is just look at the art. Thank you. Now you can leave.
Look at the bed. It's
Look at the bed
beautiful.
and
Look at the
leave.
four posters. Look at
Yes.
that beautiful red blanket.
Yeah. But he doesn't celebrate that. And I also find that there's a lot of times when I'm interacting with Demetrius and Robin where he's just like not even mentally present and he's
No.
thinking about his science experiments or something. And so I'm really struggling to see how they're connecting. And then the moments when they're trying to connect, or either Robin or him will talk about like, oh, you're stabbing my feet. Like we're not even syncing in how
I
we're
was gonna bring that
dancing.
up. That was gonna be my next
Bring it
example
up.
because they're literally like, oh my god. There's two different scenes where they're dancing and they are beefing about it. There's the one where she's like, yeah, you're stepping on my feet. There's the other one where he says, I don't see why people do this or whatever. And she's like, it's because it's fun, honey. It's called
Yeah.
fun. And
Hmm.
it's just something about that. I feel like there's like sure, maybe opposites attract on occasion. There's a reason people say that. But I've tried relationships where opposites attract. I try relationships where you're two sides of the same coin, and there is one I deeply prefer. And it is definitely two sides of the same coin because sometimes it's a lot of work and a big grind to then like try to have to understand a completely different viewpoint and integrate
Hmm.
that into your life. And if that's some work that you want to do or think you want to do, I guess have at it. But for me, I think at my exhausted age, I just need some things to be easy, you know. I
Oh yeah.
just, like
Yeah.
I think, and Robin, I think deserves that. I think she deserves like a creative type, like I don't know, maybe a Leah type.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Robin has the makings of having a whole butch lesbian experience if she wants to, or
My long-haired
I'm
butch.
pansexual myself, so like she doesn't have to be full lesbian. There's many other
No.
different sexualities, but I really see that antagonistic kind of, and sometimes like the way that they're talking about each other as a representation of, I think in this society, there's constantly a bunch of reminders saying you have to be in love, but it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard. Love is
Yeah.
hard. It's a lot of work. Marriage is work. Everything's hard, hard, hard. And the whole narrative of like a struggle love, it just forces people to be in situations that don't actually bring them a lot of joy and don't really benefit them. When the reality is, love takes effort and takes commitment and takes intentionality, but doesn't have to be a struggle all the time. And
No, I
so if
completely
you are
agree.
exactly, so if you're asking someone to go dance and they're like, I just don't see what the point is, if that person can't be a part of your joy and is only there to like make your life harder and or potentially like they help because they provide financial stability, I don't know. Maybe we just need more friends or something else
Right.
because like why would we need to be in this? Then the other thing is like outside of their marriage where clearly they're not communicating well together, there's also a loss of relationship that I see between Maru and Sebastian that is completely their responsibility as parents
Hmm.
to have integrated them better, and especially with Maru seems to be their child together. Why are they still not connecting at all? I think that's messed up, and they
Yeah.
should have fixed that. Mhm.
They don't really, I don't think they have any, at least not in my experience, dialogue about each other. Like, if any.
Sebastian complains that Maru is, like, allowed to get away with some stuff, and then he's not, and then or she'll have
Oh, I
ideas,
haven't
and
seen
then
that.
yeah, I'll have to look at it, but I
Oh
remember
my
there was
God.
something about that Maru had an idea and Demetrius was like, "Yes, that's amazing. Like, I love that." Again, I'm not quoting it completely. And then he said that Demetrius just didn't care about his idea and he felt like really
Oh,
just let down by that. So
oh
the dialogue
my
that I
God.
have seen is a comparison of like how they are received by their parents.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Demetrius needs to hit that book again. My
maybe
lord.
maybe read it
Maybe
this
read
time.
it. Clearly,
Yeah.
crack the spine, perhaps.
Yeah.
That is oof, yeah. And I think there's something very, I don't know. I'm like really going into this, but there's something very like sweet about a relationship between like a son and his single mother, and like him wanting to defend her, and him like clearly they have a close bond, and
Mhm.
it's just, it's heartbreaking to imagine that now it feels like perhaps he's in this family where there it doesn't feel like there's room for him, when
Mhm.
presumably before it was just him and his mom or whatever. And
Yeah.
that makes me sad. It makes children turn to things like smoking weed, which he used to have a bong. Did you know that? He used to have a
Oh
bong in his
yeah.
room, and now it's
Yeah.
not there anymore. They got rid of it.
Yes,
Makes
but
me so sad.
he still has an ashtray that smells funky is what
Yes.
Robin says.
Yeah.
So it's implied. But yeah, I also think about like when Sebastian met Demetrius, he was a small baby, a little
Yeah.
baby. And because he's probably like in his late 20s too. So that was such a formative age to have a really strong connection with your mom. And then all of a sudden that's kind of severed in a way. And he
Hmm.
gets a lot of flack for being emo and keeps to himself a lot. But then if you put it in the context of feeling like there is no place for him, like you mentioned, it makes a lot of sense. This is
It
a
makes
deeply
total
complex
sense.
game that people, when I talk about the game to other people who don't play Stardew Valley, they're like, oh, like a farm game? I was like,
You
oh,
wish.
you wish.
A
I'm a
farm
therapist.
game.
I'm a therapist. I am breaking hearts left and right, fighting battles every day.
Fighting battles no one knows about in the mines.
No one knows except for me and whoever saves me when I die at the
I'm the
end
de
of that night.
facto mayor of the
Ugh,
situation because
don't get me
someone is not. I
started.
mean, I know how you feel about the mayor,
Yeah.
and I agree. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think for me, like Sebastian never came across to me as. I mean, I think people portray him as the goth boyfriend or whatever, but I feel like
Mhm.
I always just viewed him as like a shy guy who clearly has a reason to be guarded, and I think like I don't know. There's some now I'm really speculating. Obviously, all of the NPCs that you can romance, I guess, are technically bisexual if you want to get into it. But in my
Yeah.
head, I feel like were it not a gameplay thing, I think Sebastian would be bisexual regardless.
Yeah. I mean,
That's my headcanon.
I definitely agree. And I believe that we talked about it in like an earlier episode that I think Sebastian and Sam, yeah,
Sam.
Sam are into each other. And
They got something
Abigail
going on
is,
for sure.
yeah, I've never seen the movie Challengers, but I feel like it's giving the movie Challengers. Where it's like this is my boyfriend and this is my boyfriend's boyfriend, and that's kind of what's happening here. And if they should, like, I want them to date each other because they talk about each other all the time. The other character that Sebastian talks about the most besides himself is Sam, and that means something. Like whenever there's dialogue where someone's talking a lot about someone else, I think there's obviously an undercurrent that is not maybe always being referenced, and I think that they should be together. Let them
Oh my
live.
god.
Let them
I think
live.
you're
Yeah.
right. I think you're absolutely correct. The challengers thing is that really got me. That's gonna get me for a while. I think there's also like between Sam and I mean they're in a band together, which is the
Mhm.
most erotic thing you can do. Low key, the band of Abigail, Sam, and Sebastian is giving Muna vibes. Stardew Valley
Oh,
Muna is
yes.
those three.
I love when people do edits of Stardew Valley and they'll like add new music to it. And so there's a video of just Emily listening. She's the only one that's dancing, like really breaking down, like, hell yeah, girl. Also, I mean, I love that she is usually like the one that is dancing and truly
Oh
in her
yeah.
joy in the game.
Like by
Well,
herself too.
Exactly. She knows that she can be herself, and if no one accepts it, that's fine. She's good. She's happy. So, yeah, I love the band. I feel like they probably said the name of the band, but I don't remember. And I know I just mentioned Emily. I know you had some thoughts about Emily. And
Oh,
again,
do I have thoughts?
before I even mention it, I really feel like if someone keeps mentioning someone else in the very limited dialogue that they have in this game, it has to mean something. So,
Hmm.
are Emily and Sandy dating or are they just friends?
So here's my thought. My thought is they were dating at a time. I think they are exes. I think there is potential for them to get back together, but I think that they're like on that path right now. Because to me, so first off, nothing, absolutely nothing gayer than a bus. And we can, we can dissect that on its own. But in my opinion, the gayest form of public transportation is the bus because it is affordable, because you are suffering while you're on it. The suffering you feel when you're on a bus perfectly complements the like nervous butterflies and joy of being about to go see your partner or whoever it is that you're going to see. And
Mhm.
I feel like interstate train kind of too cushy, like obviously my preferred way to travel for lesbian activities, but it is more expensive. It
Mhm.
is, a bit more elevated, a bit of a luxury. And then plane is just overkill. Like if you're on a plane for a situationship, I mean, good luck, babe. Oh my god, that's really, that's like you're bringing a, I don't know, what's the word? Like you're bringing a bazooka to like a knife fight. Like you don't need to do all that. It's not.
It's a
So
big
for me,
commitment.
bus is like it's a big commitment. So bus is like my preferred way of queer travel. I guess I should also preface this by saying I have never had a relationship with someone that lived in the same city as me. So that's really super
Big
gay
part
and
of queer.
unfortunate. Big part of queer culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
I love before we move on from the bus because I was
I'm gonna tie it to the game, Shirley. You gotta let me do
no,
it.
I
I'm
you're
getting
doing great. I
there.
love the concept of the bus being like a really queer thing because for me, the times I have been on a bus and the anticipation of like, oh my god, is this my stop? Am I gonna ring the little pool thing on time? Or maybe there's a button. I get butterflies. Like, what if I miss my stop? What if I did it too early? Is anyone
Oh
else getting
yeah.
off here? And there's something about that ability of we are at choice. We're all going on a route, but I can decide to get off of it if I want to. And for me, that's beautiful. That's really queer. And then Emily
I
decides that
totally
she's going to get
agree.
on a bus and she gets off at a very particular desert that no one else goes to until
Yeah.
this brand new festival. Before this festival, no one ever visited the desert besides
Yeah.
her.
And that's why I think that regardless of, and I think the game also is sort of queer coding Emily in a huge way,
Hmm.
just by the fact that she's the one who is into gemstones. She's the one that has her hair. Well, I mean, a lot of women do, but she has like the blue hair, which is obviously a very, like, it's obviously very gay, like kind of the default gay hair color if, people are memeing about it. And I remember when during my first playthrough, I got the quest to bring her all the gemstones, and I was like, I know what you are. I know what you are.
Yeah.
And even though she's like pre-paired up to like kind of be with Clint, I guess if you do see the flower dance or whatever, like I like it's obvious from the actual dialogue that she's not into him, and
Not at all.
doesn't even it's not even tracking for her that he could
Mm-mm.
possibly be into her. It's not even like, oh, I just don't see Clint that way. He's my friend. It just doesn't register for her, which is why
Nope.
she's clocking lesbian to me.
Hmm.
If your farmer is a man and he's in a relationship with Emily, I think that is a queer relationship. I think
Yeah.
that says more about the male farmer than it does about Emily, who is a lesbian. So my thinking is that years ago they had a thing back when the bus was running, because it was running at a point before it broke
Yeah.
down, because
Hmm.
Pam used to be the bus driver, and Pam was probably shuttling a little baby gay Emily to see her high femme. Like, I think Emily's foot for sure, and I think that Sandy is this high femme goddess
Hmm.
who's out there in the desert. And I mean, Emily seems like someone who probably just went there for the adventure slash maybe heard about the gems that they had out there and was like, let me go take a gander. She seems pretty adventurous. And I mean, you see a bright pink building like that, someone like Emily is obviously going to be drawn to that in a huge
Yeah.
way. And
She brings
yeah,
it up often.
so my fantasy is she walks in there and then, head over heels, they're in that oasis, if you know what I mean. And they're
Nice.
really, really taking some time in that oasis. But I think that the bus broke down when they were in a relationship, and I think they broke
Mm.
up because of it. And I think it was really hard for them both. And I think they tried to maintain an epistolary romance that ultimately did not last. And I think that it was probably, while mutual, very difficult for them both. I imagine it's also unclear to me because this is a separate thing. It's also unclear to me like what the phone situation is in Stardew Valley because you can get a phone for yourself,
Yeah.
but I don't think Emily's house has one, and I don't think Sandy's Oasis has one either. And that makes things even like there's only a handful of people you can call when you have your own
Hmm.
phone. And that leads me to believe that this town is super, super analog, really doesn't have like phone lines, or certainly no one's got cell phones. And so they were probably doing a letter situation, and it just like all things, if it's interminable and you never know if you're ever gonna actually see each other. My guess is someone, probably Sandy, penned, I just say just a gut feeling, she penned a kind of, have you seen Carol?
Yeah.
2015.
I,
Okay. She
I
penned a
definitely
letter
have.
similar to, I kind of assumed, but I didn't want to assume. She pens a
Yeah, you're doing
similar
great.
letter, just being just being like, I listen, what are the words? She's like, you will understand this someday. Like, I
Yeah.
carry this love for you, whatever, but it's not going to work
Devastating.
out. This, devastating. And I think they're both devastated by it. And I think that was their first kind of, that was Emily's, in my head also, this is Emily's first queer relationship, was this.
Mm.
So because I feel like, so then the bus is repaired. Pam is back in the saddle and she's
Should she
driving
be
driving
though?
the
I don't
bus.
know,
I mean,
but she's in there. So yeah, I love that she has an activity. And recently, actually, when I was playing the game, she mentioned like, "Oh, I wonder like what activities else I could do. Like, I would really like to have something else." I'm like, "Give this girl a hobby. Like, she needs to go do something." And
yeah,
I do feel bad that I absolutely give her a beer just because it's just easier to really like provide for her. I don't know enough about her, and so when I have a surface level relationship with whoever I'm playing or like connecting with in the game, I just give them like whatever I know that they love, even if that
yeah,
means that me as a farmer, I'm in danger. Like every time we make it to the desert, I'm like, that was a close one.
yeah,
That's why I've been taking the approach of I'm just going to use the warp token or the obelisk to go and
yeah,
like we're just going to skip the bus because I don't know where
yeah.
Pam is at today. But you had mentioned that you think Emily, this is her first queer relationship. Have you seen what her earlier photos look like by any chance? I'm going to put it in our chat
No,
here.
what?
So if you click that link,
Oh my god, wait. Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh
So
my god, she's
for
gay. Sorry.
for
She's gay.
for the listeners, if and I will put this in the show notes, Emily has had many different hairstyles. They've all been blue, but they've all been varying levels of queerness in my opinion. So there's like the buzz cut kind of pixie situation. She's had her longer hair, a lot of gel in like this
Oh
current
my
one.
god.
The fringe is incredible, and then her
Look at that
earrings, there's
undercut, dude.
exactly. So I don't think that this has been her first relationship. And in doing some research and chatting with you, I think that there's something else going on here. Are you available for a potential
Yeah.
completely alternative
Yes.
perspective?
Lay it on me. Hey, I'm ready.
I don't interact with Sandy that often because when I go to the desert, I'm there for one thing, and that's
Oh yeah.
slashing monsters, essentially.
Absolutely.
I went into her wiki page, and at the very top of the wiki page, it does a reminder saying Sandy is not her real name. And I was like, "What do you mean? What do you
What
mean Sandy is not her
what
real
do you mean
name?"
by that?
So if yeah, actually, I'm gonna read it. I'm on the
Oh my
wiki.
god. Yeah, wait, I see it. Oh my god.
My name's not really Sandy, you know. It's just good for business. And that spiraled into a whole other thing. I'm like, what is happening here? So I think that they were friends the bus stopped working, and then they don't have the phone situation, so they start being pen pals, and then there was, like, a lot of yearning that happens when you write a letter
Oh,
to
yeah.
you're putting in, like, how you're feeling. There's effort, intentionality in writing a letter, and also if someone's writing back to you, because when we first meet Sandy, she says, "Oh, Emily let me know, she wrote me a letter that you were coming." So, like, they're obviously talking about me, the farmer, and there's something going on there. But the fact that that's not her real name, and Sandy never comes to Pelican Town except for, I believe that she might go to the movies now every so often with Emily, again with Emily.
With with Emily.
But no one goes to visit, and then in the interactions that I have with Sandy, she talks about, like, what's happening in the back in the casino, that she's like, "Oh, I don't really know anything about that. They just pay me a bunch of money to, like, look the other way, and we're good." Am I supposed to feel comfortable in that situation? Like, okay, you just told me this is not your real name. You don't know what's going on there, but you're getting a bunch of money. You're also giving me milk, which I feel really weird about the drinks that I'm being handed as the farmer. Like, people are like, "Here, try, get this milk, drink this tea." I'm like, what is happening? What, can you please, like, slow
She gives
down?
you milk? I don't
She
remember
gives
that.
me Yeah, she gives you milk at a certain
That's so
day,
funny.
and I think that she could potentially be in, like, a witness protection program situation, and that's what she is in Calico Desert. She's
Oh my
keeping a low
god.
profile. Emily fell in love with this person who has a
Oh my
sordid
god.
background, can't really talk about it, and then Pelican Town is such a small town, everyone talks about each other, everyone, I mean, literally, when we arrived as farmers, like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we all knew you were here." Like, who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Um, so if you had to keep your profile, like, really just on the low, you don't want people to know about you, you don't want to come here. So
Right.
there's, like, a
That
lot
makes
telling
sense.
me, like, is Emily potentially in on it? Does she know what's happening? Is she an accomplice? And with the visits that she does, I was also thinking, like, what if she's a courier and she's, like, bringing stuff as well? So my mind is like, yes, love is awesome, but what if there is I'm still in the, someone here is running this cult. It might be Mr. G, and he is behind the casino. So is he also
That's
causing
true.
her to not have this love connection that she could be having with Emily? So yeah,
Yeah.
I know
Oh my god, so
it
much to
could
think
just be
about.
that they're
It
yearning and they love each other, or
Well, I
there's
mean,
a
I don't
whole
think
other
they have to be
thing.
mutually exclusive. Like, I
No,
could easily
exactly.
see a
Yeah.
yeah, like falling in love with someone who's stuck in witness protection so they can never come over is honestly like so classic.
So classic.
So classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing too is that at the desert festival they had like a little stand together, and so like
Hmm.
once the bus is running again, and like I think when you first go to see Sandy and the bus running, and she's like, "Oh my god, the bus is running again! I have a friend who,
Hmm.
whatever." Like that, when I saw that, I was like, oh sure, you have a friend. And then like as soon as there's a desert festival, Emily's on that bus, and she
Yeah.
is having that stand, and they are changing people's clothes, which is really something. And their friendship to me, like once you kind of see them hanging out, like it seems like in the game, I don't I don't know, I don't think that they are currently in a relationship, but I think that they
No.
have this like intense queer platonic friendship that came from romance. I do
Hmm.
think it came from romance, but I don't think they're currently in a relationship anymore, but they have this sort of like, I could very much see like Sandy talking to other people at the desert festival and being like, "Oh, like what's the term for this?" It's like when I guess the familiarity of having been in a relationship with someone and no longer being in a relationship with them, but you're
Hmm.
still like, "Oh, like haha, Emily with her gems again," or whatever. That's just like a terrible example,
Yep.
but like you know what I mean, like where you
Yeah,
sort of you become siblings in a way.
hopefully not.
Well, you know what
For
I
many,
but like
no, no,
you know, you know.
I know what you mean. But you still know that person, and or you knew
Yeah.
that person at a
Yeah.
certain point, and that means something. It's not like that goes away. There's some kind of understanding. There's a familiarity. You know, maybe like what drinks they like, kind of thing. The
Yeah.
feelings have changed, and it is friendlier, but there's definitely something still there. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is when it's people's birthday, like, not really a lot happens throughout their birthday. People,
Hmm.
like, I give them a gift, but nothing else. On Sandy's birthday, Emily gets on that bus and goes, which is fall
Really?
15. Which yesterday when I was playing the game, it was fall 15. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going. I'm going to just stalk them the whole day. So I went to Emily's home when she woke up and I'm allowed to go inside, which is 8 a.m., which is too early. Like if someone shows up at my house at 8 a.m., like, please leave. What are you doing here? I'm not going to answer. And I go in there and she's like, oh, I would love to have a picnic, but I have work today. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she leaves and she walks to the bus and she gets on the bus and she gets on there and I arrive. They don't even like acknowledge me. They're interacting with each other, but I can see their dialogue when I interact with them, but it's not like they never acknowledge that I'm there. And she says to Sandy, oh, I'm so glad I took the day off today because it's such like a beautiful day. I'm like, bitch, you lied to me.
Oh, liar. And
you told me you were working, but you were here for Sandy's birthday, which you could have just said. And like,
you
I
could
wouldn't
have just
been.
said, I'm going to go visit my friend in the desert whose birthday it is. Like, we know you guys are friends. No need to.
Why the secrecy?
What's with the secrecy? Yeah. Ooh, oh my god, first off, that's huge, and I will be going on fall 15.
Fall 15. Fall 15,
to
everyone.
See that happen.
That's Sandy.
I'm
just
writing
follow
that down.
The whole thing. Do nothing else.
Yeah.
Because I took a bunch of just recordings because all they do is just like walk around to each other. Sandy is really appreciative, like, oh, I love that you came here. Thank you for remembering my birthday.
God.
And then Emily leaves at like midnight, pretty late, and gets on the bus and goes home. So
there were some adult activities happening there for sure. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I watched and
so maybe not.
Nothing happened. But there's a lot of yearning, in my opinion, because they go and they stand next to the oasis, and they're just standing there. And then I have to check if I don't know if you have played recently, but I can't remember if you notice the NPCs breathing or not. Like I have to check because it made an impact on me when they were standing next to each other. I could see their little bodies breathing. My farmer was like not moving, and it made me think like, are they nervous? Are they nervous being like, you know, when you're just breathing a bunch? Because I'm just like, what's happening? I'm gonna have to pull out my Switch and be like,
that is gonna make me cry.
Is anyone else
actually.
breathing? Are they all breathing
so
or are they
beautiful?
Dead? Yeah, and they're standing next to each other and they're just breathing, and they go walk and then they go by the lake and then they talk about like how nice the air is today. It would be such a great day for a swim. And then they're just looking out at the water, and then they stand by the desert trader as well, and then by the bus stop, like, I'm gonna miss you kind of, and like that's all they do. They're just hanging out with each other. So I thought that was so beautiful. Yeah,
it's giving, really, you know what, this is giving emotional support X. That's what this is. It's very like we are, you know, we're gonna stand and we're gonna look at the water, we're gonna breathe, and we're gonna just think, and both in our heads we're imagining how things might have turned out differently, but ultimately it's okay because they turned out this way and we're standing here together. Oh my god, end it all.
I can't be with you. I just, you know, they're like, I can't be with you because I'm in the witness protection.
I'm in witness protection and I can't do long distance. They're both the same
but
problem.
If I could, I love you. Yeah. I'll write you a letter.
You. Oh my god.
And then, you know, because Sandy leaves a plant for Emily that she has in her house. It says like, for you to think of me. So like,
you're kidding.
Please. No, yeah,
please.
There's a plant in Emily's house that says it's from Sandy and it says for you to think of me. I'm like, okay. The last thing I'll say about Sandy that I thought was interesting when I was just like doing some research is the oasis itself is this beautiful pink building. Gorgeous. I absolutely love it. In an early heart event with Emily, we walk into her home and then she's dreaming and she's like on this platform that is pink and there are palms around her. It looks like it's the top of the oasis. And when we arrive,
it does, doesn't it?
When we arrive to her dream, it's just kind of like, what are you doing here? I felt the first time that I witnessed that heart event that I was interrupting her dream. And I'm like, are you dreaming about Sandy? Because this looks like the oasis.
Oh my god, you're mine.
So yeah, I obviously get really into this game. So,
yeah. Oh my god, that
1.7. Yeah.
So much to think about. The fact that they're like confirmed writing letters to each other, man. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's text. It's not even subtext anymore.
It's literally, it's there. It's out there.
Wow.
So, well, thank you for chatting about that.
Oh my god, of course.
Listeners, if you think that Emily and Sandy are together, please let me know. And then if you think that Sandy is potentially in the witness protection program, because you know that that's not her name. So also, what do you think her name is? And if you think that she did something, let me know. Speculate. Because you know we're just making shit up. So I would love to hear from you. The other thing I wanted to chat a little bit about was you mentioned Mayor Lewis and the Marnie episode was your favorite. I'm assuming it's probably from situationship stuff, but tell me more. Like what draws you what draws you to that story? Yeah.
I mean, I've been Marnie. Like, I've been
Mhm.
head over heels for someone who had, I mean, this is not a specific someone, just like someone's, I suppose.
Mhm.
Many times I've been head over heels for someone that had, I mean, if not literally more power than me, then at least had something I admired, something that to me, like, sets them apart from me in a different way, whether it's that they're
Mhm.
older, whether it's that they're aspirationally doing something that I want to do or whatnot, and have been like the hidden person
Mm.
in those
Yeah.
relationships so many times that I really, really empathized with the situation she's in. But part of why I love the episode was the like very in-depth and considerate dissection of her behavior that she gets, and also like just the support to that she deserves better than that, and
She
that she
really does.
can do better than that. Like, it's not like there aren't other people in the town who are
No.
into her. Marlon, 1-800 Marlon, someone call him. Like, it's it's
1-800 Marley.
like
Yes. Pick up the phone. I know you have one. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
hotter.
Oh my gosh.
Marlon is sexy.
That's canon.
Okay, okay,
Marlon
yeah.
is
Like,
objectively hotter than the mayor. And for me, the mayor stops being hot because he sucks so much. Like
okay,
people's
great. So then
personality
we
will
can, yes.
immediately take that away from them.
So
So
I
yeah.
think, yeah, Mayor Lewis has an ugly personality, and Marlon has a very like he's got the strong silent personality type, but he also is clearly an adventurer.
Hmm.
So a reason I think he and Marnie would be so good together that I don't think was mentioned before is that he also has a kind of passion for husbandry, just of monsters. Like
Hmm.
during the Spirits Eve festival, he has the zombies and skeletons in their pens and is like, yeah, look at me, I got these creatures. Like, and I think in that regard, he and Marnie are kind of, I could see them having the most messed up farm of all time, where it's like some alive cows, some cow skeletons, some like zombies, I could see
Yes.
them having a little freaky farm and being very happy together. And I just,
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like I really enjoyed the sticking by Marnie in that episode. The very like,
Hmm.
because I think sometimes when girls like me and Marnie end up in those situations, it's easy for our friends to, or people in your orbit to kind of, it gets exhausting to have a friend
Yeah.
who's in a toxic relationship and like can sort of be like, oh my God, break up with him already. Oh my God, break up with him already. But I liked that your guys' discussion was way more focused on like, she deserves so much better. And like, it's Mayor Lewis who is doing the bad thing here of
Hmm.
leading her on and making it a secret and like forcing her to be really secret about it when the whole town knows. Everybody knows. It's really
Everyone
obvious.
knows.
Everyone knows. And you got this woman in a bush. Unbelievable. Like, I,
When you both
uh,
own homes, it
when you both
really.
own homes,
Yeah.
and presumably you sometimes go to those homes because I have to go into her house to get his underwear,
Hmm.
which the fact that that's one of the first quests you get, like, I think when I first started playing, I had no idea where the shorts were. I was, because I didn't understand what they were asking, and I
Like,
was,
what are
because
you
they don't give
talking
any
about?
context, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And because, like I said to you, I was so bad at making friends that for the longest time, for literal game years, I didn't know where to find them or how I was supposed to get them. So I was just walking around and I was like finding the other things, but you can
Yeah.
find like the berry basket and other items without going into anyone's homes. But for
Hmm.
that, you have to establish a relationship with her. You have to find out that they're into each other, which I also, because I wasn't getting to know anyone, didn't know for a long time. So I had the mayor's shorts quest in my thing for so many literal years of the game. And I was just like, I don't know where these shorts are. I'm never gonna find out.
That's
And
so
that one I
funny.
did go to the wiki for. I was eventually just like, I need to clear this. And then I was like, oh my God. It all
Yeah.
makes sense. It all makes sense.
I love
Yeah.
that, first of all, that Eric was like, this one, you have to unlock friendship. And then that way you like get more drama out of it because
Yeah.
once you found the shorts and you like recognize like what's happening, you're like, oh shit, like there's obviously
Yeah.
something going on here. But yeah, to your point, I think people have a hard time supporting or not even supporting. I think people have a hard time saying the right thing because if they don't have the capacity emotionally to like be there for someone, especially if that someone is like spiraling in the same situation, it can be difficult to reflect
Yeah.
or like hold space for it.
Absolutely.
I completely understand. But I also think it's important to remind people that if you are feeling a huge imbalance in that relationship, maybe take some time to reflect. How is it serving you? Maybe it's temporary situation, but if it's long term, potentially that's not for you. And I think for Marnie specifically, it's not for her. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
be public. She wants it. And it's not going to work out at all.
No, and I
Um,
just think that she's got
yeah.
so sorry for belaboring
Oh,
this.
no,
I just
you're
think
good.
she's so accomplished and she is such a pillar of the community and is a
Yeah.
pillar of me, my farm community because I never have enough hay. Like I'm relying on this woman. I rely on her. I trust her. She has a very like butch energy that I
Mm-hmm.
really like. I just find her so comforting and it makes me sad to see like such a powerful woman, such like an incredible like warm woman because she also was like
Yeah.
nice to you from the jump. One of
She
the
was
few
very
villagers
nice.
who was nice to you when you first moved there. And so I don't know, I have like a soft spot in my heart for her and I really like that episode because I feel like it was giving so much depth to the reason she might be making these choices and like focusing more on if you're the person that's sort of setting up the boundaries of a relationship and forcing it to be secret, like what's your problem? Like that is
Mm-hmm.
what's with you that you are feeling you've got the most incredible woman in the town like so into you and you could be a power couple and instead for some reason you're hiding it. What, are you ashamed? Why? That's your problem, Mayor Lewis. Call me and we'll get to the bottom of it because I don't like her treating my girl. Yeah.
No. Mm.
Yeah, just wanted to
I
put a little bow on that.
absolutely no. I mean, and it's a great bow because for me, him hiding that relationship really ties it back to. I think he's hiding a bunch of shit, and
Yeah.
something I'll be talking about in another episode is I think he is money laundering and he's in cahoots with Jojo Mart, and so there's a bunch happening there. So of course he's gonna be really secretive about a relationship because then it just starts unfolding all of the other bullshit that he's in. So, anyways, that's about Mayor Lewis. I
Gasp.
wanted before we get into my final question, which is about 1.7, and we briefly talked about perfection. I guess just a one liner. What does perfection in this game mean to you? But you can also talk about your life.
So, one word. Oh my god.
No, one sentence. Well, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Joy. Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah.
I'll be real. I didn't know what perfection was for my first couple of years playing the game. This was something I found out
Mhm.
about this calendar year. I didn't
Yeah.
know it was something you could get. I don't know. I didn't know. And so I was really just playing the game, not concerned about that.
Amazing.
And I think that really shaped the way I played it and shaped it like has made it into it occupies the role in my life that it does. Like despite my grinding, I like to watch the money go up, but that's not necessarily
That's
like
just for
I'm not
you.
feeling I have to check off everything. That's just that I like seeing it. It's
Hmm.
like
Oh,
it
yeah.
like scratches my brain, but it's not like and I feel like I related a lot to the episode where you guys were talking about perfection and like I forget if it was you, I think it was you who was saying that like perfection is something you struggle with in your own life is like one of you saying that. It was
The
said on
two
the
of us.
episode.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I think I really relate to that. Like I
Hmm.
have always had a bit of a perfectionist streak. And so,
Hmm.
and it has not always served me well. It's really just made me more frustrated, I think, in
Hmm.
general. And so I think it was good that I didn't know about perfection when I started playing, because I think I would have put a lot of pressure on myself to do that and would have felt a lot
Yeah.
less. It would have been a lot less fun. And I'm going to bring him up later when we talk about 1.7. But my friend Levi, who illustrated my book, is one of the people who
Really
got me
beautiful.
really into. Thank you. Yeah, I'll pass it along. He is one of the people who got me really into Stardew and taught me how to do all kinds of stuff. Like taught me how to get the Galaxy Sword, taught me how to get like
Oh, huge.
a lot of that was big. I had no idea about that, and he was like, and he was so like gentle and casual. Like he never gives me pointers in a spoiler way. He's just like, I wonder what would happen if you took the prismatic shards to the desert. And I was like, let's find out. And then
What do you think?
next thing you know, yeah.
You just stand between these pillars, and then you just put your arms up in the sky. What do you think would happen? What do you think? And then, psh, whoop,
And
galaxy
I
sword.
really
Yeah,
appreciate that. I appreciate like someone who will nudge you in the right direction without necessarily like will let you experience the story, you know?
yeah.
And that was very much his kind of way of getting me into it. And he told me, he was like, I was so close to perfection, and then 1.6 came out and there were even more things you had to do to get to perfection. And he was like, I was so, what was the word he used? He said he was so, it starts with a D and I don't remember. Disillusioned.
Disillusioned.
That's it. Yeah. He was like, I was so disillusioned by that because I'd been so close to perfection. And then it was
Yeah.
like kind of, it just got made harder that I stopped playing for a while because I was like, oh my God, I was so close to it. And then it just, but now he's back on it again. He's chill and it's just like, okay, I'm gunning for perfection for real now. But
Yeah.
I think like I've had instances like that happen with me with other games, video video games where I've gotten real close and then maybe accidentally erased a save or something, or like just
Mm.
various kind of frustrating, devastating things that can happen when you're gaming. And I feel like I've been able to avoid a lot of those pitfalls because perfection was not something on my radar really. But then I thought that it was just like a casual slang term people were throwing around. I didn't realize it was like something, like
Yeah,
it was
like
a
a
percentage.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah. But now that I know what it is, I've like the river farm, I am like kind of passively trying to see if I can get there to perfection
Hmm.
with that one, but in like a chill way. I am mostly right now, I think I'm more trying to like fulfill each category of thing
Hmm.
versus like
Doing it all at
I'm just
once.
focusing on, you're right. So I'm
Hmm.
focusing on cooking all my recipes right now,
Yep.
and then I'll move to probably shipping after that. And this the like chiller things where you can just
Yeah.
kind of one by one like do it slowly, because I think part of what has been so why this game has been such a big part of my life is that it's where I go to chill, and I don't really want
Hmm.
to make it another chore or like make it this kind of super super intense grind
Yeah.
to get all the way there. But I would like to see what happens, because I know that there's areas in the map you can only unlock if you have reached perfection that I really want to see, and I don't want to spoil
Hmm.
myself and look it up on the internet. So I'm just like, yeah, I want to get there eventually just to see what I'm missing. But I've unlocked the Walnut Room, which is a crazy name for a room in my original save,
I
and
love that.
now I can see where I'm at perfection wise. So
Hmm.
that is new.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my general thoughts on it.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I love that perspective. There's so many ways to play this game. You can absolutely grind it out. And I mean, some people complete the community center in year one. I'm like, okay, that's not my life. I'm not going to do that.
Not my life either.
But not my life at all. But what I like about perfection when, because now I like don't have perfection again because of 1.6, is just viewing it from the standpoint of I'm trying to see what story does this unlock for me, and instead of like
Hmm.
rushing through it. And so if I learn a new recipe or if I'm fishing for something, I'm like, how has this changed? Like what's different now, and how does this add to the total enjoyment? So I've learned to separate myself, because for a long time it definitely was something I needed. And you remind me of a memory that you unlocked, and I'll probably have to go to therapy about it later, is about deleting a save and being like, what the fuck just happened? I lost
Yeah.
everything. So when I was a kid, I had the Nintendo 64 green. It was like see-through, love 90s game stuff. It was just really beautiful. And I played Donkey Kong Country, and I think it was like two golden bananas away from perfection in that game. And my sibling at the time deleted my save, and
Oh,
I don't talk to him. So
hellfire calling. Yeah. Oh
and
my god.
maybe it's tied to that. No, I'm just kidding. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. But you also deleted that save. So there
Yeah.
is that. I think that that's interesting. So I'm always interested to see how people relate to the game, and how they choose to play in that aspect. But I want to end on a high note. 1.7,
Yes.
he just announced that he's
Yay!
absolutely going to be doing that. When, we have no
So
idea. So
exciting.
it could be in many years, but hopefully it's next year. What are some of the things on your wish list for 1.7?
I'm so glad you asked, and I am actually gonna go get the list that I left at my desk.
Yeah, go
But
for
I'll
it.
keep my headphones
Come.
on. You can hear me.
Absolutely.
I FaceTimed Levi before this recording because I was like, I know that you probably have more specific like gameplay things you might want to talk about, and I have a couple more like story based. Got my list.
I love that. Yeah, I
So
have a list too.
yeah.
So yeah, let's go.
So Levi was explicitly asking for new legendary fish because
Yes.
he's caught all of them and he wants
Hmm.
more legendary fish. I think that's crazy because I'm really bad at fishing. Um,
And those are so hard. So yeah, I would absolutely agree with him though, because I would like more. Hmm.
but yeah, he wants more legendary fish. He also said he wants to have some more like in-game context for radioactive ore,
Hmm.
which is
Yep.
interesting because I have yet to, I've unlocked it, but I have yet to encounter it in the gameplay yet, so I don't actually know what that looks like or even does, but I guess I'll find that out. But that's what he said.
Hmm.
And I mean, this even ties into, if we like circle back to Demetrius, I'm like, I really loved your guys' theories on his like science-y kind of like his role in the Green Rain, his like
What is it?
potential, what does he do with different scientific phenomenon? And I feel like there could be something interesting there with him and radioactivity. I don't know. Maybe he
Hmm.
researches it. What's to say? So Levi wants a new NPC. I specifically would like a canonical lesbian couple that you can't romance. I know this is a tall
Ooh.
order. That's what
Yeah.
I want though. Like
Yeah.
if we have Robin and Demetrius, if we have like, I don't know, they're married, there's Kent and Jody, there's like Pierre and Caroline. There's married couples you can't romance. And I would love if
Mm-hmm.
there was a gay one or a lesbian one. I would prefer a lesbian one for me. And let's see. Sandy should come to the town and the beach is
Mm-hmm.
what was written here. The beach, at the very least, she should be allowed to go. We looked this up because we were like, does she get to go? She doesn't, I don't think.
Nope, she does
Um,
not.
and that makes no sense because she lives in the desert. She would love the beach. She should get to go to the island.
She would
That's
love
my
the beach,
thinking.
but she doesn't like interacting with other people. So yeah,
Mm.
I definitely agree. I think I would love for her to go out. Is there? Do you have more on the list?
Oh yes,
Oh,
please. And I'm speed
you
running them. I'm speed running them.
Oh,
We'll get to you,
you're
but
doing great. Yeah. Oh,
um,
we just did the 1.7 episode. I do have more on my list, but you can keep going, so you're good.
yeah, I
Yeah.
listened to that today. I was like, I want to
Oh,
make
okay.
sure I don't repeat anything.
No, you're good.
So I think that the cats should get to use the cat tree.
Oh my god. So I thought that they did this whole time, and I kept moving my cat tree. I was like, maybe it's just like in the wrong room. Like, should it be outside? Like, do they not like it? Did I pick the wrong color? Because I was like, why is no one on here? Absolutely. And the dog, I don't think the dog ever goes into its little dog home either.
Which is crazy because they have a dog in the town that goes into his doghouse. So
Hmm.
that at the very least, move that over. Just get the
Yeah.
dog go in the house. Let the cat go on the tree. Levi, on that note, we were talking about pets. He said he wants to be able to keep a bird as a pet, as like another pet option. I, on moral grounds, disagree, but he can want that if he wants. He was like, you can buy a birdhouse. It doesn't make sense you couldn't have a bird in the house. And I was like, I mean, that's along the lines of the pet thing, right?
Hmm.
But potential more like animals inside the house. I would love to know more about Marlin and Gunther. I would love if there was more scenes with both of them.
Hmm.
I think they're both fascinating. Marlin, I mean, Silver Fox, we talked about that, but
Yeah.
Gunther is an interesting guy, and I feel like to have that job as both librarian and museum keeper, you must be a fascinating person. I would love to know more about why he is that way.
And his outfit, like I just
Yeah,
even just tell me about your outfit. Where did you get it? Like,
where
did you make
where
it
did you get
yourself?
it?
Yeah. Can I get it? But yeah, I would love to be able to be friends with them. That would be incredible.
Yeah, I would love to be able to bring Gunther stuff, like have a
Hmm.
heartable friendship with him. I want the obelisks to be smaller.
Yeah, you and Hillary, I guess, because
They're too
yeah,
big.
they're
I
absolutely huge. Yeah.
I think they're cute. I don't, I could just stand for them to be less blocking my space, like what's
Hmm.
behind them. It's hard for me to find a place for an obelisk to go that doesn't, like, I don't know, take up some visual real estate that I want to fill with something nice or like a
Yeah.
path or whatever. Oh, this is my white whale. I would love if there was something more with the books that you get to read, like the ones that are
Yes.
dropped. Levi proposed that maybe you could have, like, you could get a little, I don't know, library item or something to put in your house when you've collected all the books, or introducing more books or something like that. I don't know, but I feel like I want a little bit more from the books aspect, because I think they're so interesting, and I think the fact that the bookseller comes to the town twice a month, like, it's become this bigger thing, and I would love to see it get some more, maybe add more books, or like make the books able to be traded for different, I don't know, but like something.
Hmm.
I feel like the books have a lot of potential that I really enjoy.
Completely agree. And I realized
Yeah.
recently that once you have like learned about the book and you go click on it again, there's not really any information. It just tells you
No.
the book title and that's it. So I'm like, I don't even remember what this was about. What did I get from
Right.
it? I have no idea. Hmm.
Exactly. And this, I will end on this one because I think it's really funny. Changing gender should be free. Everything else should cost money.
So true.
Everything
Yeah.
else should continue to cost money, but changing gender should be free, is what Levi
Yeah.
said. And I agree. I didn't even know you had to pay to change your gender, but because I've never tried to do it, but that makes sense. And like, it's not a lot of money too. It's 300 gold, so like it's not a lot. But on
But
the
it should be
principle of the
free.
thing, it should be free to change your gender and your name. But change anything else, I think whatever. Make them pay to change your hair. I don't care. But like the rest of it, that needs to, I don't, it doesn't exactly seem like you necessarily need to go to the doctor or you don't need to go to Harvey and go under the knife or anything. So
No.
who's that money going to? Mayor Lewis? Fuck out of here.
Yeah. And
I'm not giving him my gender
absolutely.
reassignment money. Are you kidding me?
He does not deserve it at all. Absolutely. No, I love that. And yeah, change your gender should be free. My white whale that I did not mention in the last episode because I only had written one page and I do have more as the days go by, I'm like, oh, why didn't I say that? Hello. Is I want to meet the witch.
That was also, I cut it because I didn't want to overwhelm you. Meet the Witch is on here.
Meet the witch. I want to meet her.
I want to meet the Witch.
I want to meet the witch. I want to know what she's like. I want to get her side of the story. I want to know what the fuck did the wizard do for her
Yes.
to go do all of that she's doing right now in the countryside? But also, I mean, if you heard that episode, which I know that you did, she's giving us things. Like she's obviously a good witch. And also, I recently came across that there's a second witch too. There's the golden egg
What?
witch. There's when you have perfection, there you meet a new witch.
Oh.
There's a golden egg, and then there is the void egg. Are they the same witch? Is
Wow.
Oh my god, I just thought about it. Is the wizard the issue that they broke up is because he cheated on her with the golden egg witch? There's a lot of potential there. So Eric Barone, if you're listening to this, we have a lot of ideas and we need things for 1.7. Please
Call
provide.
us, please. Yeah.
Call us, please. 1-800 Marlin and let
100
us
Marlin.
provide us with these updates. But I just want to say thank you so much for making the time to chat with me today. I
Thank
really
you.
loved connecting, and I'm so excited to hear from people what they think about all of the things that we discussed today. But also, as a reminder, if you haven't had the chance and if you like reading, reading is important, and go to the library, please get a
Yes.
library
Go to the
card
library.
and pick up the book from Mia, which is again Fragments of a Wasted Devotion. I'm already halfway through, love it. And for me, as someone
Yay!
who had interesting coming out story, I related to a lot of these stories. That's all I'm gonna say because I'm not gonna out myself on my own
Yeah.
podcast. But yeah, so thank you so much. And if there's
Thank
any final
you.
words you want to say, you can.
Yeah. Well, you can find me on the internet at mia.arias.tsang on Instagram. My website is miatsang.com, and you can buy my book there or in any bookstores or request it from your local library. And I guess the last thing is I write a newsletter, and it is on Substack. It is called Overripe Peach, and it is just kind of more of this. It's more musings about various media and culture phenomenon I enjoy. So I have a weekly one that goes out every week with just a list of things I am thinking about, and then I write longer form essays and things that are fun. And I mentioned this podcast in one of my weekly roundups of things I was thinking about, and I was
Oh,
like,
thank you.
"You guys, this is like a day after I emailed you, and I was like, I emailed this random podcast. Let's see what happens, guys. I'm thinking about it, so can't wait to update my followers on that when this drops. But yeah, thank you so much. This has been so much fun, such a dream. I cannot wait to send it to my sister.
Oh yes, thank you, sister. I love that. So thank you and
Yay!
goodbye. Yay.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. If you have some Star Drop tea to share with us, email at stardropteapodcast@gmail.com. Follow to get all of our upcoming episodes as soon as they land and rate this episode 5 star drops. Make sure to take good care of yourself and your community. Thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon.